Tonight at 6, a Colorado church packs in hundreds of people in spite of court orders and health concerns.
There is a bias and a complete discrimination between how certain places of gathering are being treated versus religious gatherings.
Plus, more outbreaks confirmed at additional King Soopers locations. CU students are suspended for breaking COVID rules. The Broncos prepare for a game that may not happen.
And we go 360 on the popular vote and whether it's time Colorado paid more attention to it than the Electoral College.
There's nothing in the Constitution that would prohibit this.
It flies in the face of the tradition.
And we begin tonight with some breaking news. A new wildfire is forcing evacuations near Kremling tonight. People are being told to pack an overnight bag and head to the fairgrounds if they don't have any place else to stay. 14 acres of burn, no word yet on how many homes are in danger. And as we come on the air tonight, another act of defiance over Colorado's restrictions to curb the spread of coronavirus.
Andrew Womack Ministries is hosting about 500 people at a week-long Bible conference in Woodland Park. An appeals court previously ruled against the church's request for an exemption to the 175-person capacity limit. And now the state is urging a judge to shut down this week's event ASAP.
The ministry doesn't seem to care. Today, their attorneys at conservative group Liberty Counsel called the state's motion baseless, adding, quote, to be threatened with criminal charges and fines is a serious matter, but we will not allow Governor Polis and local officials to carve the First Amendment out of the Constitution. Liberty Counsel's founder, Matt Staver, spoke to that today via Zoom.
That religious organizations and places of worship are not getting equal treatment, which the First Amendment demands that they receive. And for example, you can have an unlimited number of people in P through 12, and so you can teach them reading, writing, and arithmetic with no cap. But as soon as that becomes a religious meeting, that is reduced to 175.
This week, Governor Polis was asked about the lawsuit and whether religious institutions are really being treated unfairly. So this is what he had to say.
The virus doesn't care. I mean, the virus doesn't care whether you're singing hymns or watching a football game or having a barbecue. If you have 50, 100, 300 people in close proximity without masks, you are risking a super spreader event that will cost lives and set our entire state back.
In July, Andrew Womack Ministries hosted a large gathering that resulted in 1 COVID death, 40 confirmed cases, and 23 probable cases. When asked for a comment, an attorney told Denver7 there was no way of knowing for certain if anyone caught the virus at their event.
3 King Soopers locations now the site of active outbreaks. 2 employees have tested positive at the store in Edgewater, 3 at the one on Spear Boulevard here in Denver. Those stores reported cases in the last week. And the 3rd active outbreak has been going on since early June at the location on 104th in Commerce City. There, 8 staffers are confirmed to have it. 36 others are probable cases. And CU Boulder has suspended another 7 students for violating COVID rules, and that makes 10 overall. Those students are now withdrawn from classes for the remainder of the semester and must reapply if they wish to attend in the future.
Confirming another 730 cases of the coronavirus tonight. That makes 2,200 positive tests since Sunday. And hospitals have been in better shape. 369 beds in use tonight by COVID patients, confirmed or suspected to have it. Now, wrong direction aside, this is far from our worst day. Back on April 9th, nearly 1,300 people were in the hospital for coronavirus.
5 U.S. presidents have laid claim to the White House without winning the popular vote. That, of course, includes the current occupant, President Donald Trump.
After the 2016 race, some Colorado lawmakers said that's it. We've had enough. It's time to start doing things differently. Others said not so fast. So now it's voters who will get to decide how they want their ballots to be counted. Denver7 political reporter Megan Lopez takes this conversation 360.
We the people of the United States.
It's a process ingrained in the American Constitution.
In order to form a more perfect union.
For 244 years, the Electoral College has picked the president.
Ensure domestic tranquility.
An age-old tradition some say hasn't aged well.
Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
So is it time to change how electoral votes are awarded? On the ballot for this Denver7 360, 2 people who support the National Popular Vote Compact, 2 people who are against it, and a law professor. First, a quick reminder of how picking a president works. Every 4 years, you vote for president, or rather for an elector who will vote for you. They cast their ballots in December. There are 538 total electors, so a candidate needs 270 to win. Keep that number in mind. The U.S. Constitution allows each state's legislature to determine how to award its electoral votes. Colorado is a winner-take-all system, so the candidate with the most votes gets all 9 of our electors. But under the National Popular Vote Compact, states agree to award their electors to whoever wins the national popular vote. But it won't go into effect until enough states sign on to reach that magical 270 number. So far, 15 states in the District of Columbia have agreed, equaling 196 electors, 2/3 of the way to 270. Colorado lawmakers committed the state to the compact last year, but opponents got enough signatures to put a referendum on the ballot so that you, the voter, get the final say. There have been 5 times in American history that the winner of the popular vote has lost the election. 1824, 1876, 1888, 2000, and 2016.
There's also been a number of so-called near misses where it almost happened.
State Senator Mike Foote is a big supporter of the national popular vote. With fewer so-called swing states these days, he's convinced
we're going to have more results like what we had in 2016, or at least near misses each time.
So he says it's time for a change.
The presidential candidate that wins the most popular votes throughout the country should actually be the winner.
We feel it's essential for representative government.
That's Holly MONKMAN from the League of Women Voters Colorado. She says a national popular vote would mean every vote actually does count.
For example, in 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote within our state and was awarded all 9 electors. You know, over 1 million people voted for Donald Trump, but they received 0 electors.
Keep America great.
They also believe it would fundamentally change the way presidential campaigns are run.
Currently, the presidential candidates only have incentive to campaign in just a half a dozen or so states.
In 2016, 24 states, half our states didn't get a single visit.
So Coloradans now are being ignored under the current system.
They have to run their campaigns differently, no doubt.
So they're hoping enough voters agree and enough states sign on for the compact to kick in.
But it's a bad idea. It would turn us into a country that is driven by mob rule.
Others see the National Popular Vote Compact as a dangerous step away from American tradition.
There's enormous gravity in this conversation because it would change the way for 244 years the United States of America has chosen to govern itself.
The founding fathers, we believe, got it right with the Electoral College. It is a representative process because we are a republic and not a straight democracy.
State Senator Paul Lundeen and Mesa County Commissioner Rose Pugliese say this circumvents the Constitution and allows bigger states to determine the outcome of the election. So even if every Coloradan wants one candidate but the rest of the country picks another, our electors go to them.
We absolutely believe that Coloradans being in control of our Electoral College votes is really important.
And if the compact goes through, they say candidates will only focus on areas with big populations and forget about rural parts of the country.
The real truth in the matter is this particular initiative would narrow the number of states that are in play even further.
That's why they're asking people to vote no on Prop 113. So if this compact passes in enough states, is it legal? For that, we turn to DU law professor Nancy LEONG.
Is that there are agreements among 2 or more states all the time. I think that water rights are a good example. There are agreements related to endangered species. It's not something new and exotic. This is the kind of thing that is pretty commonplace. It's just never been tried in the context of national electoral politics before.
The U.S. Supreme Court has stepped in before to enforce these state compacts, and most recently it ruled that states can force electors to cast ballots the way it says.
I think the way to think of this is just as any other contract.
On November 3rd, voters will have the final say on Colorado's involvement in the National Popular Vote Compact. Proposition 113 won't affect the winner of the 2020 election, but it could determine the future of American politics and the way presidents are picked. Megan Lopez, Denver7.
And tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. and Friday at 6 a.m. for additional deep dives into this year's ballot. Now, right now, we want to hear from you. Let us know how you feel about changing the voting system. You can email 360@thedenverchannel.com. Contact Denver7 getting results tonight for a family in a bind.
They say their brand new used refrigerator came broken. And at first they tried to get their money back on their own. And when that didn't work, they called Jacqueline Allen for help.
We came down, bought a refrigerator.
The promise from Becker's Appliance on South Broadway, the best warranty in the used appliance business.
We got it home, turned the freezer on, and the freezer wasn't working.
Judah and Amanda Pineda never wanted to test that warranty, but their $800 Samsung refrigerator didn't work. When they took it to the service center,
they broke it just taking it off of my truck in front of their store.
That was July. The company promised a like replacement, but sent these photos of a fridge that looked nothing like theirs.
I mean, I bought the dishwasher already, and it was the exact same style as the refrigerator we picked out. That's why we were so specific on it.
When he asked for a refund, they told him that wasn't possible because we damaged the refrigerator.
For more than 2 months, they've been looking at their empty kitchen without any replacement or response.
They were taking advantage of somebody that doesn't have money to just throw away. That's why I was buying it secondhand to begin with.
So they reached out to Contact Denver7 for help, and we talked to the owner, John Collins.
So this is how it came back to our shop.
He says the customers damaged the refrigerator, but the company was looking for a like replacement. They just haven't found one yet, so now they will give a full refund.
It's a very unusual appliance.
I want to get you on the record here. You'll refund them all their money?
That's our policy. Yes, absolutely.
The company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, although recent online reviews show similar warranty and appliance issues. The owner says they wouldn't have stayed in business for 50 years if they didn't have good customer service.
My apologies on behalf of the company for any miscues that were there, but we honor our warranty, bar none.
$862 even.
A few minutes later, the Pineda family walked out with their full refund in cash.
You guys simply picked up the phone and made it happen, so thank you very much.
Now heading to buy the fridge they've wanted since July.
Probably not secondhand this time.
In Denver, Jacqueline Allen for Contact Denver7.
There you go. Can the Broncos beat a Patriots team missing 2 of its best players? Well, maybe. That's only if the game is played at all this Sunday. We'll have more on that right after this break.